What if I told you that this, and this mobile apps will build completely without writing a single line of code? Yes, these are fully functioning native mobile apps that are published on Android and Apple stores. And they were built by something called no-code, which means that their founders didn't have to write a single line of code or hire expensive developers to make their idea come into reality. And if you want to do exactly that and start building your own mobile apps without any technical experience, then this is the video for you, as I will be breaking down the best no-code mobile app builders in 2023. We'll go over the functionality, ease of use, pricing, best use cases, and live examples for each one of the tools. So let's get right into it. So the first few builders that I want to cover are what I like to refer to as power builders. They have very deep functionality and they kind of work both as no-code as well as low-code solutions. Meaning that once you outgrow their no-code features and their no-code functionality, which are actually super extensive, you can always start integrating custom code or pass on your project onto a developer. So let's start off this video with Flutterflow. Flutterflow is a mobile and responsive app builder that works on their Flutter framework, which was developed by Google. The reason why Flutter framework is great is because it's a cross-platform development framework, meaning that apps work seamlessly across desktop, mobile, and web platforms. This framework is optimized for performance, making it an attractive choice for demanding mobile applications. And Flutterflow is a no-code builder that abstracts this framework behind a drag-and-drop builder, meaning that you can utilize this powerful framework to build fully functioning mobile apps on both Android as well as Apple without writing a single line of code. So let's jump right into the website and take a closer look. Flutterflow allows you to build applications faster than ever. You can create beautiful UI, generate clean code, and deploy it to the app stores as well as web in one click. Fully extensible with custom code. But now let's take a look at the features. So Flutterflow allows you to make animations, it allows you to send push notifications, it gives you light and dark mode functionality. It also allows you to build collaboratively, allowing you to work effortlessly with other developers. And the best thing of all is that it allows you to export clean code. So Flutterflow generates clean Flutter code, meaning that you can just take it and export to host it yourself or pass it on to developers. In Flutterflow, you can integrate directly to Firebase, Google Maps, Stripe, and a lot of other options. But now let's jump into the app itself to see how it works. Here I use a template for like a health app. As you can see here on the left, we have all the elements. Here we have the parameters tab where we can click on each element and then edit their functionality as well as their looks. If you wanted to add some text, we just click it here and drag and drop into our app itself. Same with images and anything else that we want to add. And then we can click on this image and then edit it over here. So here we can choose another image, we can resize it and do anything else that we might need. Here we have the widget tree, so we can actually click and see the hierarchy of our elements as well as the different pages of the app. And here we have like one of my favorite features, which is called storyboard, where we can actually see all of our app pages and how they interact together. This is absolutely game-changing because it allows you to visualize how you build your app and make it very easy to understand the different relationship between the different pages. So here, for example, we have the login page and we can see exactly what happens after we log in. If you click here, we can actually see the database. So Flutterflow integrates directly with Firebase, and then it actually allows you to view the data within Flutterflow. So you don't need to integrate in Firebase and then go to Firebase to see all the data. And here we have the API calls page and a few other things. For example, like here we can have automated tests, and here we have the theme setting page. So here we can actually set the theme for the entire app. We can change the colors for the entire thing. We can change the typography. We can even change the widget styling. Now we're back in the app and I want to show you actually how to export the code. So once you're in the app itself, you can just click over here. You can press view code. So you can actually see all of the code of your app, which is absolutely amazing. Because if you need more functionality, you can get a Flutter developer and then just get them to code certain features and then add it here. And you can even like connect the app to GitHub and download the code to host it somewhere else. And if you wanted to preview the app, you just click on the button here and you could preview whatever it looked like on mobile as well as other devices. And the other cool thing about Flutterflow is that it has this AI gen features. So you can actually give it a prompt and it will generate that for you. So let's say we want to generate a profile page for a yoga teacher. And boom, this took about a minute to load and this is what it came up with. It gives you different color palettes here so you can switch between them and you can just press insert page and that would insert this into your project. So now let's see some of the tools that were built on Flutterflow. Here is Gifted, which is an app still in development, but it's an app that will allow you to find out what kind of gifts your friends would like to receive while remaining anonymous. Here's Atlas, which is a credit card app with over 5,000 ratings in App Store. Here's Backer, which is an app that allows you to follow athletes and your favorite players. And here's ParkCharge, which is an app that allows you to find chargers for your EV vehicle. Now let's take a look at the pricing. Flutterflow has a great free membership, which gives you full access to their visual application builder, meaning that you can just sign up for the free membership and just learn how to use it. It allows you to build up to 100 pages, which is amazing. Standard, which is $30 to $15 depending on your region, allows you to do everything in the free, but also allows you to export the code, which is amazing. And here, once we get to the $35 or $70 range, we can actually deploy the app to Apple and Google Store, which is amazing for the price. Now we're on to the second builder, which is the closest competitor to Flutterflow, and it's called Draftbit. So while Flutterflow functions on the Flutter framework, Draftbit functions on the React Native framework, which has a much more mature ecosystem with quite a lot of big apps built on it already. So Draftbit promises that you can build any app 10 times faster. It allows you to build native mobile apps, responsive web apps, and internal tools visually. So they say that you can build anything. There's low-level components that let you build anything from scratch, blocks, higher order components that help you move fast, and custom code just like Flutterflow. So it allows you to create a design system where you could quickly change the look of your app. It allows you to connect things together for navigation, actions and interactions, as well as state management, and it allows you to access APIs directly with any external data source via REST API. And this is what the Draftbit builder looks like. Now the building experience on Draftbit is quite a bit different to Flutterflow, because here you can drag and drop components. Instead, you'll be clicking here on the plus, and once you add them, it will add them here in the components tab, and then you have to drag them in the order where you want them to show up, which is completely fine, and it's still a fast way to build, but it's not as visual as Flutterflow. But as you can see, it allows you to create pretty complex interfaces. So this is like a streaming app. So while Flutterflow has most of its menus here on the left, Draftbit has them here up on the top. So for example, here if you click on the API, here we can integrate all the different APIs. So here we can use REST API to connect to many different kinds of databases. You could also add custom code. I'm on the free plan, so I can show you that. You can also add variables for complex functionality. You can also edit themes and styles for the entire app in here. You could also create style sheets. And if you click on navigate, you can actually see the preview of the app, because here in the design, it's not functional. It's more like it's just for the design. But once we click on navigate, it actually takes quite a bit to load, not as fast as Flutterflow. And once it loads, we can actually start testing our app. So we can click here, see the streams. We could click on the stream, see the profile page, see the last stream, as well as the about page, schedule, videos. You could also subscribe. This example is literally an entire live streaming app that was built just using Draftbit. Here you could also have a live preview. It will give you this QR code which you can scan on your phone and then preview the app. And Draftbit also allows you to export code. I'm on the free plan now, so I can show you this, but if you're on the premium plan, you could click here and export the code. Here's Stigma, for example, an app that was built to help people with their mental health and help people have conversations about it. As you can see, the UI is very clean. It's literally a social network that was built on Draftbit. Here is Vault, an app that allows you to track your bets and have group chats about it. And here's Graze, an app that allows you to have fun and support local businesses in CA. And here's the pricing. They also have a free membership which starts at $0 a month, which gives you access to all building features, but only 5 screens per project. You can also have 2 API endpoints. In the basic plan, we get all of that, but we can actually publish the project. We get 25 screens instead of 5, unlimited APIs, unlimited drafts, and we can also publish to iOS as well as Android and web, just for $20 a month. In the Pro, we got all of that, but we can also export code, and here we also have the team membership. Choosing between Flutterflow and Draftbit will depend on the functionality that you need and the kind of experience that you're looking for when you build. I prefer the Flutterflow app because it has the storyboard feature, where you can see exactly how the different pages interact with each other, and they have native functionality with Firebase as well as a few other things, which makes it just much faster to set up your apps. However, Draftbit does have a little bit of a deeper functionality, so for the most complex apps, I would choose Draftbit. So now onto the tool number 3, which is Adalo. Adalo is another native mobile app builder, but it's a lot simpler to use than the previous tools that we mentioned. So if you don't have much technical experience and you want to have your app running as soon as possible, then this might be the tool for you. So Adalo promises that you can build custom and responsive apps and publish them anywhere without any code. As you can see, it allows you to build responsive web apps. It has integration with Zapier and Xano. It has a drag and drop freeform builder. It has geolocation, custom actions, component marketplace, plugins, templates, and a bunch of other integrations. But this is what the builder itself looks like. So this might remind you of the storyboard feature in Flutterflow, where you could see how the different pages interact together. Well, in Adalo, you actually build like this. You see the page and then you use their visual builder to build on here. As you can see, some of the pages here are actually in the web version, because Adalo is used both for web apps as well as mobile apps. But when you click here, you can actually change it to a mobile view. And if you're building just a mobile app, obviously like the pages will look like this rather than like this. But when you're building, you'll be clicking here on screens and then clicking on the individual page that you're building. So let's say we want to build a destination page, we'd click on that, and then Adalo would bring us right to that and center the page on our screen. From here, we can start building by pressing plus. You can just drag and drop components and edit them live. To edit, you just left click on it, and then you'd actually see all the different options here. Then it also has a database side here where you could actually see all the different databases that you have. So this one has users, trips, and destinations. You can also connect external databases. Then you have a branding tab where you can change all the colors. You have version history tab, and within the components itself, you have the different actions. So this will be like the complex functionality. So you could add an action to like create a page, or update certain components, or delete certain components, or link to other components. You can also integrate ChatGPT and all of these other tools. They say that you can integrate over 5,000 different apps, but as you could see, their builder is very intuitive and straightforward to use. They have a free membership, so you could just use that to start learning. Then at the starter membership, you get all the features plus custom domain, and you can publish to web. But the professional tab, that's when you can actually publish to app stores, and that's priced at $52 a month. And in the team membership, which is $160 a month, you can have Exano integration. From the research that I've done, actually Adalo doesn't have the fastest database, so you will want to use an external database tool like Xano. Having to pay $160 just to be able to integrate that is a little bit underwhelming. But now let's see some of the tools that have actually been built on Adalo. So actually, if you head over to the website, they have this page called Made in Adalo, and they have a lot of different tools that have been made with it. I'm gonna check out this one, Kotao Dive Site Reports. So that's pretty cool. It actually shows you different dive reports in the Kotao area. The app actually looks like it has some nice features, and it's very straightforward to use. Then this is Joy Blossom, another tool built on Adalo, which is like mindfulness tool. And here's another one called Sommelier app, which is like a social network but for wine lovers. As you can see here, it has different wines where you can click on them, and then I guess people can leave reviews and show the pricing and things of this nature. Looks pretty nice. And another good thing about Adalo is that it has a lot of plugins and a lot of templates. It also has a very big community, much bigger than the previous tools that I mentioned. So that's another plus for it. But the con is that you cannot export code, and it's a little bit constrictive when you compare it to Draftbit or Flutterflow. But I think it's a great option for a basic app or for an MVP. Now on to the next tool, which is called Thunkable. And in my experience, it's one of the easiest and fastest ones to learn, be able to build your own mobile app while still having a lot of functionality. So Thunkable promises that you can build custom mobile apps without any code. It's naturally native, powerful, always available, and comes with a lot of pre-built components. So their target demographic is for people to build their MVPs, education software, business software, custom mobile experiences. Once again, it's a drag and drop builder. It's also got advanced logic, device native. It has a lot of integrations, got direct publishing, and workspace collaboration. So this is what it looks like when you load in, and if you want to start building, we could just start adding components. So for example, we're gonna add a button here, and then let's add a text input over here. Let's make this button smaller, maybe put it here, the text input. Then let's add an image. If you want to make a new screen, you just click here, and that will make a new screen, but you can also start building. So very straightforward, very intuitive. You could click here on the data to connect different data sources. You can build your own table within Thunkable. You can connect Airtable, Google Sheets, or Webflow. And this is what the logic looks like. You'll basically get different logic from here, drag it. If you've ever used Scratch before, then this will actually be quite familiar to you. And here you can actually use some of the app features like speech, play a sound, or let's say camera. You can add a photo from camera. Whatever you want to do logic-wise, you could do it in here. And then if you want to preview it on your mobile, you download their app and basically scan a QR code that shows up here, and then you can preview it directly on your phone. They have a free project where you can start learning and have up to 10 projects. The $15 a month allows you to have up to 20 projects, and it has community support as well as live testing and private projects. One private project meaning that it's not shared with the rest of the community. And $45 a month, that's when you can start publishing to the App Store and Google Play Store. But if you wanted custom branding, you would have to pay $200 a month. So in my opinion, if you're launching your own MVP or building your app, you don't want to have branding, so the minimum price really is $200 a month. Now the next tool, which is called GoodBarber. I know, pretty random name, but it's actually a great tool. This tool is relatively simple, but they have a serious focus on UI. So with other tools, you'll actually need to have some design experience to be able to build good looking apps. But GoodBarber makes it very easy to be able to build an app quick that actually looks pretty good. So GoodBarber says that you can make beautiful apps with no code, and it's for people who are serious about UX, which is user experience. They're trusted by big brands, they have a very good design system, and they really go heavy on their website to advertise that. And I think that's awesome, because with other apps you actually need to know quite a bit about design to be able to build an app that actually looks pretty good. So let's choose a template. Let's say I want to do a non-profit app. We could choose a theme, so I'm gonna just go for the default one. Navigation, let's say we want to have this side menu like that. Here you can name your project, then we wait for a second, let's click discover, and then boom, we're now an app. So from all the builders so far, this is actually the most simple UI I've ever seen. Like, the buttons are massive, it's actually quite easy to see like what is going on here. So this is what it looks like. This would be the menu, but that's pretty cool. So here we could see like the events that would come up, click to donate, our fights. Yeah, so we could see the different things that this company would be doing, and register for the email. So let's say we want to actually change something. So here we'd click on the color and fonts, and we can change all the colors in here. So here we could actually see all the different components and see their hierarchy. And you can also click on tree and actually see how the different pages interact together. So this is menu, and this is actually the home page. If you wanted to add a new page, you click and add a section, say a blog, add. Now we've got a blog page, so I guess if you write any articles, they will show up here. Here we can change the icon of the app. And if you want to have deeper functionality, you would get them from their extension store. So you can integrate Airtable forms, Active Campaign, Buy Me a Coffee, Google Tasks, Instagram. Now that's the pricing. So it starts at 30 euros a month. Basically cover, I guess, all your needs for online courses, newspapers, content creation. Pricing really just depends on what kind of thing you're building. So if you want to build like an e-commerce store, it'll be 40 euros a month. If you want to build an online course, I mean, the pricing is really straightforward. You don't have to like sit there and compare all the different plans. If you go to their website and you go to the solutions, you can actually see the kind of different solutions that their apps can be used for, and they actually like break down the different functionality that can go into it. Now we did see that it is a very basic builder, but if you have a very basic app or an MVP that you need to launch quick and you need it to look good, then I would recommend GoodBarber, because the way that their builder works, it's pretty easy to actually make apps that look decent and that the users won't get lost in. And now we're on to Glide. Now, Glide is not a native app builder. The apps that are built on Glide cannot be published on the App Store, but it's a great solution if you want to build internal tools. Let's check it out. So Glide is designed to help you build internal tools. So you can build tools for field operations, event management, customer portals, employee portals, inventory management, and things of this nature. If you want to build an internal tool for your business, then I think Glide will be the best choice. So this is what the Glide builder looks like. Very straightforward. You have this side here on the left where you have the components. You'll click plus and then choose the different components that you want to add. So let's add an image, and let's add that on top. Boom. And if you want to edit that image, we'd click on it, and then here on the right, we would change the different styles. So we can choose simple, cover, profile, and if you want to remove it, you just click here on the X. And here on the left, you can also see the different pages. So we could go to the customers page, or here the product catalog page. If you go to data, you could see all the data for your app. So you could have a table within Glide that stores all the data. Or here you can actually integrate an external database like Airtable as well. And if you go to actions, here is where you can automate things and supercharge the app itself. It has integration with OpenAI, Gmail, and all of these other tools that you can see right now. But what's in add an action, this is what it's gonna look like. For example, you could set a user interaction with a certain product, and that would open a link. You can also add different conditions. For example, here it's like if product name is not empty or else, another action will happen. And it's quite intuitive to use, and you could see all the actions in also a mind map. Now, Glide also has a free membership where you can have up to 3 private users, free apps, 1,000 updates a month, and 500 rows of data. For $25 a month, you get web embeds as well as custom domain. And for $100 a month, you get unlimited apps, 50 private users, Glide API, and powerful integrations. Now, if you're going to be using this app in a professional setting, you're probably going to be going for the pro or the business plan. The reason why is because you will probably want to use the powerful integrations, and you will probably want to use the Glide API. Now, for this app, if you want to see some of the apps that have been built with it, then you can check out some of their templates and see some of the things that you can build here. So if you need an inventory management system for your business, Glide got you. Company CRM, room reservations, accidents and incidents manager. Now, while Glide doesn't allow you to build native apps and it has a very simple builder, it is still a very powerful tool for business needs, because you can have an app for your internal needs up and ready in no time and be sure that it works. And now we've got BravoStudio, which is the most unique mobile app builder out of all the tools that I mentioned before. This app takes a completely different approach to building your mobile app. And if any of you are familiar with Figma, then you'll be absolutely delighted, because in this app, the approach is that you build your app in Figma first, and then you import your Figma project into this builder and just add a little bit more functionality, and then you're ready to post. Bravo promises that you can take your designs from Figma and make them into a publishable app in Flash. So this is what the process would look like. You have your Figma project, add it to BravoStudio, you add the backend, and then boom, you have your MVP or your project ready. That you can then publish to Google Play and Apple Store as a native app. It allows you to build CRM apps, meditation apps, fitness apps, restaurant apps, school apps, and event apps. And the one thing you'll notice that's different from all the other apps, it's how damn good they look. These apps honestly look legit, because these apps are just Figma projects that have been converted to become an app. It's honestly a game changer for designers. Now let's take a look what it looks like on the inside. So here's a sample app from Bravo itself. As you can see, all the pages look super clean. This last page even has like a 360 view integrated into it. So in this builder, you wouldn't be building out the components within the app itself. You'd be doing it in Figma, but here you'd just be adding functionality. So we can add data in the data tab. We can add integrations like Firebase, authentication, custom logins, and even chats and analytics. And then you could publish it. If you wanted to preview it, you could do that on your phone. Let's check out one more. So as you could see here, the designs you could do are pretty damn awesome. And now the pricing. So their pricing starts at $23 a month for individuals, but you could have unlimited solo projects, import up to 30 app screens per project, and publish in the iOS and Android store. That's actually a really good price to be able to publish apps in the iOS store. And for the teams, the price is $426, and you can have up to 10 collaborators, up to 50 app screens per project, and you get a lot more support. Now let's check out some of the apps that have been built on BravoStudio. Check out this one called MinGas. Look at that. That looks simply amazing. Let's try this one, Swimming Team Dison. Another clean looking app. And let's try this one, Cut My Garden. So an app where you can book for your gardening needs. Pretty cool. So BravoStudio is a great option if you have a design background and you know how to use Figma. And even if you don't know how to use Figma, it might be worth learning it, because it has a massive community. There's lots of people submitting different templates, their own projects that you can just copy, adapt it to function on Bravo, and then have an amazing and good looking app running without any code. So now, which tool do you pick for your own startup? Well, if you need complex functionality and you want to be able to pass on your project onto developers in the future, then I would either go for Flutterflow or Draftbit. If you need to have an app that's quite some functionality for an MVP and you need to have it up fast, then I would go for Adalo or Thunkable. If you need to build internal tools, then I would choose Glide. And if you're an experienced designer who wants to bring their designs into life, then I would go for BravoStudio. Now, if you want to learn about other no-code tools that allow you to build web apps, internal tools, databases, and even automations, then make sure to click the video on the screen now.